Welcome back, everybody. As an artist, videographer, and photographer, I am a big fan of 3D printers. From printing accessories for my studio, for photography, and finished pieces of artwork, I've just really enjoyed having one in my studio. So I thought I would shoot this video to show you what a 3D printer can do. And I also just purchased a brand new printer from Bambu Labs, and I'd like to show you the unboxing of that, and we'll get it set up and we'll do a print. So I've moved over to one of my workbenches to show you a couple of the things that I've been able to print. For photographers or people that just like 3D printing, there are projects called lithophanes, and this little piece of plastic doesn't look like much without a backlight, but when I turn the backlight on, suddenly you can see that there's an image there. It's kind of challenging to see with the light around it, but lithophanes only show up when they're backlit, so it's kind of fun. There's a selfie that I made. That is the only one of these models that I created myself. You can download models like these from Printables, Maker World, and Thingiverse, and I got all of these from one of those three. For photographers, if you do film photography, these little things are film holders. So combined with something like my light table here, you can backlight your negatives and shoot them with a macro lens. That one was for medium format film. This one's for regular 35mm. Found those out online. If you're a printmaker, which was my specialty in college, printed this cool little 3D printed little block printing press. And there's a larger one of those. The guy that's made this has made several and continues to develop them. It's kind of neat if you do that kind of artwork. You can print accessories for 3D printing. Here's a pair of rollers for holding a spool, if you don't like the spool holder that comes with your printer. You can do fun little accessory things. The first print that I'm going to do past test printing with this new printer is something like this. It's kind of clever. It holds up to 3 micro SD cards per slot, 1 SD card per slot, or 1 thumb drive per slot. So all of the media that I carry around for all of my cameras and moving things to clients and that kind of thing can live in one place. Changing the color that's on my desktop from orange to blue, so I'm going to reprint one of those. Again, this isn't my model, but there's all sorts of sculpture and artwork that you can print and find online as well. Switching views over to the storage space for my active 3D printer, this little Ender 3, it's the Ender 3 V2 Neo, has been my main printer for the last little while. It's been fine. It's got a couple of quirks, one of which is it is really slow, and the other one is, let's see if I can get this lit up so you can see it on screen. There's a little print defect. You can kind of see it right there, and you can feel it. It's a little wobble in a couple places on the print bed. That's okay for functional parts where I really don't care. It didn't interfere with the functionality of either of my film holders. But I've got a couple projects in mind for the future that I want a lot of accuracy in, and I just thought that's something I need to fix, and I don't want to take apart the only working 3D printer that I own. Now that I have a new printer that we're going to unbox here in just a second, I can disassemble this and see if I can't fix the problem. This has a larger print bed and print volume than the new printer, so I may keep it as a backup for doing bigger things when I'm not in a hurry. I'm going to shut this camera down, move some lights, and set up a table, and we'll unbox the Bambu Lab A1 mini printer. All right, got a table set up so we can unbox this. I've used several of these printers at co-ops, but I've never unboxed one myself, so I'm interested to see what we get inside here. So far, so good. Lift the whole thing out. I think I'm going to cut that open here. All right. Maybe we aren't supposed to lift the whole thing out. We'll figure it out. That comes off. Looks like an accessory box. We'll take a look at that here in a second. Let's see. Great thing about the internet, you can watch people struggle opening boxes live. All right, that was more fun than I expected. All right. This appears to be packed really well. Some of this off the table. Really every 3D printer I've seen opened or opened myself has been packed pretty well. It's not surprising. See if you can see that. Looks like we've got a couple of wrenches, cable management. I think that's for mounting the spool holder. Some maintenance stuff here. It's all nice. It is a little bit smaller, build volume in particular, but whole device is a bit smaller than my last. Looks like we've got a spool holder here, some test filament. Looks like a feed tube. That looks like a desiccant pack. Some disclaimers and safety guidelines. And the printer itself. So I'm going to not bore you with actually setting this up, since there's a lot of people that have already done that. Just trying to show you what you get when you open the box. There is a little, I think this is for when you're changing filament. It's a scraper, I believe. I think that's all that comes with it. So I'm going to get this set up off camera, and we will fire it up and show you it running. All right, setting it up was not too bad. The instructions are really clear. We've got this little setup book, and it did a great job. Walked me through it. Now it's going to spend the next half an hour or so setting itself up and calibrating. It is connected to Wi-Fi, which is something I didn't have on the Ender 3, which means instead of having to carry a memory card from my computer all the way to my studio, I can send the files directly from my computer, which is something I'm looking forward to. So I'm going to let this run for a little bit, and then we'll do a demo print. So we got it set up and calibrated, and it is warming up the bed and the rail. It actually looks like it's getting started now to do a test print. The standard test print, if you've never opened up and started a 3D printer, is what they call a benchy, which is a little tugboat. It's supposed to diagnose problems, or at least help you diagnose problems and give you an idea of speed. So it is doing its thing here. Sounds like it's doing some resonance testing, which it also did during its calibration. Sounds like it's trying to take off. Looks like it's verifying its level. Nozzle cleaning there. More nozzle cleaning. I've never actually seen this printer do this before, so it's kind of interesting. Looks like it's still waiting for the bed to come up to temperature. I see a little light flashing. I will likely cut out the long lag here and fast forward us in time. I've never used this filament before, so I'm not sure what temperature it's waiting for. There it goes. Must have been 56 centigrade, apparently. It may print fast, but it sure isn't getting started very quickly. Looks like it's verifying its bed level again. According to the screen, it's 22% done and it hasn't printed anything yet, which is interesting. I'm cutting out huge gaps in time here while I'm not certain what it's doing, but it does pause occasionally rather than have us watch it just sitting there. It's increasing its temperature again, I should say. Looks like it's purging some filament. It's purging a lot of filament. Putting down another test line. There, it seems to be happy with that. If you've never seen a bed slinger print before, I can tell you that is darn fast. If my old printer had moved that fast, I would have had to assume that it was broken. It just shook things off of the shelf below it. That's wild. Well, I'm probably going to switch to a time lapse here and not bore you with watching it print layer by layer, but that is really quick. All right, that was darn fast. Obviously, the time lapse made it look even faster, but that was substantially faster than my ender. I guess, based on what it's telling me. I have to flex the plate to get it off here. Let's see. Okay. It's a PEI plate, still a bit warm. There we go. Good adhesion. And that looks pretty darn good for something that printed that fast. There it is. A darn fast benchy test. So these things are real practical. There's a whole range of filaments that you can use. All right, I hope you found this demonstration useful and are inspired to try 3D printing yourself. If you don't have room for one, in my city there is a 3D printing setup at one of the libraries that, other than the cost of materials, is free. There are some co-ops in town and a prototype lab that's available by the month. So if you don't have room or budget for these, usually you can find someplace in town to print them if you're in a decent sized city. If not, there's places online that can 3D print for you. I think it's a really rewarding, kind of a side hobby, I guess. I hope you found this video interesting. If you have any experience 3D printing prints for artwork or photography or videography, please tell us about them in the comments below. As well, if you have any questions, please leave those in the comments as well. This is a growing channel and we really appreciate your support, so if you'd like and subscribe, we would appreciate it. Good luck in your art journey. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.